So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Ask YP Live Now show. So, this is a show about living positively, living with passion, spending quality time with your loved ones, and making the world a better place. So, we have this evening with us a very, very special guest all the way from Jakarta, Indonesia. So, we got with us Grace. So, hi, Grace. Everybody say hi, Grace. And Grace, can you just introduce yourself? Just say a bit about what you do, who you are. Yeah.
Okay, hi YP and hi everyone. Good morning.
Press the wrong button. Okay.
That's okay. Let's start again. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, and hello YP. Thank you so much for having me here. It's really, really great to be here. So what do? I help businesses in their company registration and also their office operation. We provide flexible workspace with complete secretarial support. So being in business, I believe professional image is so important, like the location of your business address for a start. And another thing is, of course, to have good professional support is so helpful when you run a business. So this support can very much be outsourced, and this is where I come in with my whole team. So we handle from our clients' call, managing their mails, arranging for their meetings, so on and so forth. So our clients will be able to focus more on their business. So that's a little bit of what I do. And currently we have a boutique office has 2 centers in Jakarta with different tenant mix from a variety of different industries. We have served hundreds of international as well as local businesses. And other than that, for the past year, I have been busy developing or growing global business community, as you know, and have had the privilege to meet and work with incredible people such as yourself. So that's a little overview about what I do.
So Grace, you are saying that your office or boutique office, so you're saying that people could actually rent the address, meaning that they're not physically there?
Yes, that's right. So this is one of the trends where a lot of us now are remotely working, right? So especially for the past 2 years, even before that, you can actually work from home, but you do need a professional address, a legal address for your business. So that's where the virtual office actually comes in. Handy, right, and hassle-free because you have all the support and the professional service. But when your company actually expands and when you need space and you need office rooms, you need the office suites, then we are also there to accommodate for the whole team. So starting from 2 workstations up to 20 workstations. Yeah.
Okay. And you provide them with the Wi-Fi and so on for those people who are using your office? Yep.
Yes. So you can come in with a laptop, you can leave with a laptop, as simple as that.
And is there coffee?
Lots of coffee. You can have unlimited coffee.
That's the most important thing for me. When I work in the virtual office, the first thing I look for is, how good is the coffee machine?
That's right. Yeah, we have good ones. So yes, it's definitely very important.
Okay. Yeah, that's meant just as a joke. Okay. So Grace, so obviously you've been in the business community for a long while. So do you see in the last 18 months, 24 months, with our COVID pandemic, do you see that there are companies that thrive and there's companies that just don't survive? Do you see both trends?
Yes, YP, definitely, because we cater or we serve a lot of different industries, definitely. So I could see what's growing, what didn't work. So I've seen quite a fair bit, of course. Overall, the COVID-19 pandemic has had a devastating impact on the global economy and hit small business particularly hard. For instance, in Indonesia or in Jakarta, the restaurants have struggled. Some were able to survive the storm better than others, but such as fine dining establishments cannot provide the same experience as they do in their own restaurants. So this relates also to our tourism and hospitality industries, which was hit really, really badly for the past 2 years. And on the other hand, of course, there are businesses that were thriving during this pandemic simply because they provide solutions in the midst of trouble. So we could see like courier services, logistics, online delivery service, healthcare, and of course, communication software, just like what we're using, and Zoom, soared like you can't really imagine, right? What else? Bike sales, acrylic partition, and also we have a huge high rate on the online dating services, believe it or not.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that's a really interesting one that I have actually looked at, and so that's it. So we were living in quite a different world, and just a different season of businesses. Yeah.
So obviously there are certain industries that's more prone to the pandemic, and there's that there are some who, because of the nature of their business, tend to do well. But within the particular industry, okay, or particular trade, do you see differences? Do you see that, for example, let's say just basic restaurants, okay? Are there some restaurants that do well and some collapse, or similar, businesses, similar industries, some do well and some don't do well? Do you happen to see trends like that?
Yes, I think that the more lean your company is, not the bigger size or not too rigid, it was easier for these companies to pivot. Because time were so different, that was so unexpected. All that business plan, you can actually just put it in a drawer. It doesn't really work at all. You don't even know what to plan, whether it's short term, whether it's middle term or long term. But what I found was they keep changing, they keep trying. But of course, those that are very flexible are those the one that are not very big in terms of the whole team, and so they can move freely or try out different trial and errors, especially on that. Yeah.
So Grace, you're saying that those companies that thrive, the points that I got from you are that they are small, okay. So therefore, they are able to be nimble, to be flexible. They pivot fast. So are there other characteristics that differentiate, between those that thrive and those that don't?
I think at the end of the day, when I saw them, they were really, just trying, and they really searched their market very well, and they stick to it, and they make their way, as in have a different way of serving the business. So the business that actually thrive, they look beyond the pandemic. They anticipated the ongoing trend of the new normal. Sometimes, during the first year, I don't know if you realize, but a lot of businesses are saying that, oh, this is going to be over. This is going to be over. We are going to go back as the way it is. Look, it's just going to be another month of lockdown, that sort of thing. But actually, it was just not even ending, but it was longer and longer. So what I noticed was those businesses that actually thrive, they look beyond the pandemic, and they anticipated the ongoing trend of the new normal. They accept the fact that, look, this is going to be different. And consumer behavior changes as we speak and will continue to do so. So it's a completely whole new world. How we could change we were told that we can change our habit in 21 days, correct?
Okay.
What happened is, like, for the past 1 year, just on 2020 itself, we have a different new kind of habit already. The kids, the teenagers, even us as entrepreneurs, even as adults, we have completely different set of habit, which usually the business looks at the consumer behavior and they serve because of our behavior. But this is a completely different set altogether. So what I understand is they recognize and they accept in the plan, saying that, look, if this has changed, what can we change, and how can we serve differently? So maybe I can give you a little bit example of my business.
Okay, sure.
In the workspace world, the hybrid way of working is actually now it's here. So Myro Slavov, CEO of Office R&D, which I respect, said the current and the future of work is hybrid and flexible. So what does it mean? It means that most companies will adopt different approach to work. One that actually allows their employees to work from anywhere, wherever they are most productive for half of their time. So the rest of the time will be used for more collaborative at work, where culture of the company is still being enforced and the sense of belonging is still established. So that's a trend of workspace now. And
Hmm.
being remotely working, although it was a trend back then before pandemic, today it's a daily life. So
Yeah.
that's what we do now. And then you're working from Perth,
Yeah.
reaching out the whole world
Mm.
with your session. So that's pretty much it. So that's what I found, which I learned throughout the past 2 years. YP.
Yeah. So I mean, the old days, you wake up, you freshen up, grab a quick breakfast, and you get into the car to commute to work, right?
Mhm.
So now it's you wake up. It depends on whether you have breakfast or not, but basically it's just to go to your study or your desk and turn on the laptop.
Mhm.
So it actually makes commuting. It takes away the stress of commuting. Yeah,
That's
and I'm
true.
loving it. Yeah. Okay, just take a little bit of pause. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who just joined us, welcome to the Ask YP Now live show. Okay, so this is a show where we focus on positive living, on living with passion, in finding your work-life balance, and very importantly, how we can together make the world a better place. Okay, so this is a very positive show, and this evening we've got with us Grace from Jakarta, and Grace runs a virtual office. She's got two locations, and she's one lady that's always in the midst of things, meaning that she's meeting a lot of business owners out there, and that's why we have with us here tonight to talk about business trends, right? So, Grace, can you just sum up for those people who just joined us or people who are just listening in the recording of this? Okay, what are the 3 or 4 key qualities, okay, or key characteristics that make people thrive in the new normal? Okay, I'll let you summarize what you just shared, in a few words. Yeah.
Okay, so I think well, they need to be agile. They need to be flexible, and they need to anticipate that the new normal is here, and they plan beyond that, and they have to accept it, and they have to alter the way their business to cater to the current new normal. So this is what
Mm-hmm.
I see from what's the difference between those that is just keep waiting and thinking that this is soon going to be over and we're going to back to the olden days. No, it's not going to happen, and it hasn't happened. And so we just need to adapt, and we have to look at it in a completely different glasses altogether. So that's pretty much it.
And I think one of the things that we could have noticed or you could have noticed is also the type of support, isn't it? If you
Mm,
belong to a community where people support each other, for example, in BNI that both of us are in, then you find that you've got more resources because people are willing to help you, right?
mhm, mhm. Yes,
Yeah. So I
definitely.
mean, you're talking about restaurants just now. So I was just thinking about one of the countries I run. Where a fine dining restaurant was in trouble because of the lockdown. Nobody can go in and eat, right?
Mm,
And so the owner sat together with his BNI chapter members and they did a bit of brainstorming. And then
mm,
all the members were saying, hey, restaurant owner, you still got your kitchen, you still got your staff, and now the government tell us that we got to queue up for 2 hours, twice a week to go to
mm,
the market to get food, and we don't want to do that. We don't want to risk ourselves queuing up. So can you go and do prepared food, get all the recipes, get everything prepared and put it all in a box and deliver it to us once a week or twice a week, so that we
mm,
just follow your recipes, we can have good quality food, and your supplies can still do business, you can still keep your kitchen hand active, and your previously your waiters are now delivery people. So it was very interesting, how by brainstorming with the community, they look for ways to pivot. And you know what, the last I heard this person, okay, his business now delivering food packages, okay, is 3 times more profitable, or 3 times more higher turnover than when he was running a fine dining restaurant.
oh wow,
Yeah,
that's
amazing
amazing.
story, isn't it? Right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's really great. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's look at a different question now, Grace. So we've shared
Mm,
about the characteristics of people who thrive and people who don't. Now let's talk about trends. Okay. So what are the business trends that you've seen? Maybe share with us 2, 3, 4 business trends that you've seen that will help people, do really well in 2022. And the word I use is to turbocharge, right?
Yeah.
Over to you.
Yes. Thanks. So turbocharge in the year of tiger. So I like to
Oh.
always relate to that. It's a new year since it's only 10 days past since the lunar new year.
Mhm.
So there are a lot of things that we can do, but looking at it across all sectors, organizations are really struggling with rapid transformations, and on top of that there are enormous global shift and challenges for us to deal with. um, Other than just a normal business, we are dealing with climate change and the shifting of political and also economical power. So to put it
Okay.
really bluntly and directly, our world is changing so fast. We have no idea. I mean, every day, if I watch the news, there's always new innovations, there's always new invention, which is like just mind boggling, right? I mean, I wouldn't even think that far, but it is now happening. And organization again must learn how to adapt accordingly if we want to survive,
Mm.
not only survive but thrive. So there are three that I have actually concluded. I think that the trend for businesses, regardless of what it is that you're doing, it has to be a purposeful business. So when your business is purposeful, you are serving a certain market. You're serving the market that really needs your products and services. And today I have noticed that due to this pandemic, we are no longer people who simply just buy product because we need it. But
Mhm.
usually we would like to know who's behind the product, who's behind the service, and we would like to be more engaged with them. So I think having purposeful business not only gives you more resilient or resistance to failures, but you have more reason to serve. So I think having purposeful business is so important today more than ever. And the consumer are also, they're very selective, and they're very smart,
Mhm.
and they research, they learn, right? So I think now when they choose certain products and services, they are more likely not only believing in the story, but they want to double check as well. What is it that I'm getting myself into? Yeah. And secondly is being a company that I have kept saying that is lean and agile, and that takes a great mindset of the leaders. Traditionally, organizations have been very hierarchical and rigid in their structures, which is very popular, supposedly, especially family businesses. But that is changing as leaders recognize the need to have a flatter and agile structures that allow the business to quickly reorganize teams and respond to change. And it is
Mm.
also in part respond to the changing nature of work. Particularly now we are hiring the daily worker or the freelancer and the remote workers. So I'm just quoting one of in their book of Human Cloud, Matthew Motola and Matthew Courtney argue that, believe it or not, traditional full-time employment will be a thing of the past as organizations shift to hiring people on a contract basis with those contractors working remotely. So this is also being agile and flexible. So
Mm.
outsource and focus on your core expertise and stay lean and mean. I should say that.
And
Okay.
this is what you're actually helping people with their virtual office, isn't it? Instead of spending all those money to rent, to renovate, and so on. Yeah.
You don't need to do that. I mean, focus on your business. Let us do the rest. You
Mm.
get to save a lot of money or a lot of unnecessary costs because you only pay for what is it that you use, right?
Mm.
So that's very, very important. I think being in flexible office space, workspace, this trend is going to be going up. We are serving those companies who are downsizing as well as companies who are expanding, right? So
Mm.
you can expand comfortably without having to put up a lot of capital in front or taking a lot of risks. So just focus on that.
Yeah.
And mhm,
No,
there's
just
one more.
saying that, it reminds me back, it was 2 years now that when I went back to Penang, Malaysia for my, for a couple of months to be with my parents, and I found that the internet, so it was the internet that was my first driver, and my parents' place was so slow, having
Yeah.
used to the one in Australia, I couldn't hack it anymore. and just 10 minutes from my parents' house was a virtual office, something I think similar to what you run. And I rented there for about 2.5 months, though I
Oh,
don't need it, but I just rented it, I think for three things. First was the high-speed Wi-Fi that they had, okay?
the
And so
coffee.
I rented a fixed desk. Coffee was number three. Number two was they had the aircon.
Oh,
In Malaysia, it's hot, humid, but they have a very cold aircon running, and I felt very comfortable there. And of course, the third one was the free flow coffee. I think I was the number one consumer of their coffee at the virtual office.
they don't make money out of it, I think.
Yeah. So it was a very good experience, and I was running, my BNI trainings. I was doing so many things just up from a desk, and like you say, there's private offices for you to have private meetings and so on. So it was perfect, when you're a solopreneur, and not only solopreneurs use it, right?
Mhm.
So we've
Yep.
got, like mine is a fixed desk, but there are people with fixed rooms. So they
Mhm.
could have a team of, maybe up to 4 to 6 people, and they just
Oh,
have got a room, and that's their office. Yeah,
right.
really, really good.
That's
They'll
cool.
cut keep the overhead low, and make us lean and mean, right? Yeah.
Yes, that's right. So there's one more actually. You were asking,
Mhm.
because I have three trends going into 2022. One is really, really important one, and it's for me, it's probably non-negotiable. You have to belong in a positive business community where you're not alone, where you have the
Mm.
opportunity to collaborate. And recently, we've heard about co-creation, right? So I don't believe in only co-creation, but we need to be able to network, collaborate, and co-create. And this is what we do globally. And I think being in a positive business community is so important. Every one of us has 24 hours. That's what I keep telling my
Mhm.
peers. It's like we have 24 hours. We have to choose which community we want to belong to and spend our time and our energy in. And we would like to share that energy with energetic people as well. So I think that's really important. So we don't have to be alone. Definitely during this time of change and change.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right. So definitely, Grace, all three things that you've covered, to me, my experience, they are definitely the trend for the future, right? So you're talking
Mhm.
about, collaboration, cooperation, and so on. So just think about me, okay? So I live in two worlds, okay? I live in the BNI world, okay, which is all about collaboration, bringing people together to
Mhm.
share resources. One thing about, a small to medium sized business owner is always lack of resources,
Mm.
right? If you're a big corporation, you've got a hundreds and thousands of budget, you can do a lot more things. But when you're a small, medium size, you got to be able to leverage, okay? And getting people together, is very high leverage, okay? And beyond that, so the second world I live in is that, I've got this mission, okay, of wanting to help business owners, okay. And the phrase I use is the work less, earn more, okay. You work
Mm.
less, earn more, you got more time, you can spend quality life, chase your passion, be with your family more, and have more resources to be able to help the world be a better place. So, living in this second world, okay, outside of BNI in the world, there are communities out there that collaborate. So, think if I want to run a business coaching or consulting business, it means basically I'm exchanging my time to be coaching people, right? There's a life of most coaches, right? But then now there are communities starting out there where the coaches collaborate, meaning that I don't have to be, I've got clients, but I don't have to be coaching them every month because I only got one set of skills. So, Grace, you got another set of skills. Why wouldn't we collaborate and say, this month I look after my client, next month you look after my clients with your skill sets? You may have
Mm.
some skills that I don't have, and you can help my clients. And in
Mm.
return, I could be supporting your client. So basically, when you're a community of coaches, and each of us with a different area of expertise, and once a month we help each other, guess what, we're going to be able to give our clients a better experience,
Mhm.
wider consultancy, and at the same time, we work less and
Yeah.
probably earn more too. Right.
Definitely. I mean,
Okay.
I've been to your workshop, and I think it's incredible. We'll learn so much from that boot camp. I think. I mean, of all of you, of any of you who are watching or have not attended any of YP's bootcamp, it is so recommended. It's an eye opener. It's something that you didn't think of it because you're always on day to day being in your business, and sometimes you sort of like forgot and you don't know what's the priority. And YP in that bootcamp actually really reinforced that, and really guide us step by step, and that gives me a lot of clarity. And I've got a few friends who were also joining in Jakarta, and they were like fascinated, and it was really easy to understand, easy to grasp in. So for those of you who probably haven't attended, it is so recommended. It's something that it's part of the life skill that we have to have. It's not. It's a. If you call it, it's not basic. It's something that you need to have in your life, and that was a really eye opener for me. So YP, thank you for that.
Thanks, Grace. And ladies and gentlemen, you're listening in. I didn't pay Grace to say all that, right? Okay, right. So basically, okay, since I've got the banner up, I just put it up there. My next, work less earn more, WLEM says work less earn more, boot camp is gonna be 4th and 5th March. Although I put there UK, it is in the UK time zone. So if you are in the Asia Pacific time zone, it basically means you start something like 3, 4 in the afternoon and you finish at midnight. So it's still very doable. Okay, so you can look at this link. Okay, take a picture, and it should actually be in your in the what do you call that, in your comments later on. Just go and check it out. And for those of us, people in Asia Pacific, we are kind of like frugal, isn't it? We always like to negotiate and get the best offer. Okay, so I know that some of you are asking, how YP, how do I get a free ticket? Okay, and I'm going to show you how. Okay, so you can actually get a free ticket. Okay, so I'm having this little challenge out there. Okay, so this is a free ticket challenge. There are multiple prizes in there. So go and look at this challenge here, and there's a few things you need to do. Help to post this event on your Facebook, on your LinkedIn, and so on, and you have a chance to win prizes for free tickets. Okay, and I can guarantee you that this is life transforming. Okay, so thanks for leading into this conversation, Grace. Okay, right. So Grace shared about two things. So she's three things actually. Number two, we talked about number three, we talk about collaboration. Okay. Number two, we talk about being what do you call it? Lean, mean. Being flexible. And I think a key word in business nowadays is the word nimble. In the old in the old paradigm, is big, it's small. Okay, the big companies eat the small companies. Okay, but in the new paradigm now is fast. The fast eats slow. Okay, this is the new paradigm, right?
Okay.
If your company is fast, you can react, and pivot or change, and respond to market changes. You're gonna be able to, capture the market, while the bigger players who are slower to respond is wondering what's happening, right? Okay, so we covered those two, but I just want to come back. To the first one where you talk about being purposeful in your business. Okay, so nowadays, especially the younger people, my eldest daughter would, she is into sustainable. Her name is Valerie, and she's into sustainable living. Okay, so she makes sure that she doesn't use disposable. No, she's moved out of my house about 4 months now. If you go to her house, everything is reusable. Do you know that when she goes to a restaurant, she brings her own chopsticks? Because she doesn't believe in using those, what do you call it, disposable chopsticks. Okay, she reduces the use of plastic. So every time we go out for dinner with her, and now as parents, we've also picked up the habit. We bring containers. Most of the time we go there, and then if we want to pack away, we ask the shop to pack it in their plastic container. And what do? At the end of it, after we eat, we dispose it, isn't it? Because you may want to wash it, but after a while, when you got a mile high of what do you call that, plastic containers, you start throwing them away. So she does it with intent, okay, of wanting to help save the planet from plastics. And the younger generations are do that. And I was just reading, that pizza, you got Domino Pizza, you got Pizza Hut. There's so many pizza companies, and I was reading that in one pizza company was beating the rest of the pizza companies, in terms of sales. And it wasn't because the pizza was cheaper. It wasn't because the the delivery was faster because Domino promised speed delivery. Okay, it is
Mm-hmm.
because it's a pizza with a social cost.
Yeah.
So they say every time you order a pizza, they will donate equivalent to one slice of pizza to somebody in a developing country that's going hungry.
Mm.
So all the younger people are buying pizza from this company because this company is doing something different. They're not just profiting for themselves, but they have got a social reason or wanting
True.
to help the starving or the hungry in another country.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the social cost is making a difference.
Yes, I agree. I
Yeah.
completely agree. It's moving towards that, and very, very heavily so. And I think
Mm.
all leaders and business owners need to really review their business. What is it that what sort of cause? It may not be a social cause, but what is it that they serve, and what sort of client that they serve that
Mm.
means it more meaningful. So it's no more just storytelling. I know for the past years, companies, they get really popular, or the sales are very high because they are storyteller. But
Yep.
today, I think consumers are no longer like to being told just story, but they want to know, what's going to be at the end. So they're very, very smart buying
Mm.
nowadays. They're very critical as well. They analyze, and then again, that's how it is. Yeah. So that's
Mm.
why your the pizza company, and that's really thriving. It's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So now people want to know the story behind the story, isn't it?
True.
Yeah.
That's why
Yeah.
credibility is really important. Business community is really important,
Okay.
because
Yeah.
that's where you can actually serve, and that's from the smallest community that you can serve your how you show your integrity, because that actually reflects on your business. Um, so that's the first community that you can serve. To be honest.
Okay.
Mm.
Good. Okay. So we're coming up to slightly past the 30-minute mark. This show is normally between 30 to 45 minutes. So what I want to do is just I want to do a little bit of advertisement, okay, and then I'll come back and then we'll hear Grace, give a final tip, to our listeners here, whether you're listening it to live or to the recording. Okay. Now, Grace, I'm going to ask you: have you ever met a princess before? A
No,
real life princess?
no.
Okay. So would you like to have the opportunity to interact up close and personal, of course, through Zoom with the princess?
Of course, of course.
Okay, right. So, that this RSYP Live Now show, is focused on positive living, and it happens on every Thursday evening, 7 p.m. Singapore time, or it's 6 p.m. in Jakarta, isn't it? Starting. So basically around Asia Pacific is either 5 p.m., 6 p.m., 6 p.m., 7 p.m., or 8 p.m., depending on where you are, right? Okay, so next week, okay, we're actually gonna have let me just get this next one up, okay. Yep. Next episode, this is episode 30 what do you call it? Episode 14 is we can have a real life princess. Her name is Princess Ilona, okay,
Ah,
from Europe, okay. And she's gonna tell us about how to leave a legacy. Because all of us when we do business, whatever we do, we don't want our hard work, our life's work to end when we end, right? We don't want our work to expire when we expire, right? We're going to be able to pass on our knowledge, our skills, our legacies, right? So next week is a very interesting one. You wouldn't want to miss it. And Princess Ilona is going to come and join us and share with
wow.
us how to leave a legacy, right?
Hmm.
Right. Okay, so this is a very exciting. So this is a little bit of publicity for the next one, right?
Oh, all right.
Okay.
I'm gonna be
So
there definitely. So,
okay. So Grace, so as we end to this evening's show, what's your final bit of advice to all those people out there? Primarily, it's for business owners, but for the general listeners, whether you are a business owner or you're a professional, you're a consultant, you're a coach, what sort of advice would you give to people?
I would probably have one, but it has to be like one and another. So
Okay.
I would say I'm negotiating with you because one is too small, too short.
Okay.
So I would say embrace change and never stop networking.
Okay.
because it's
Good.
so
That's
important.
very good advice. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm going to be biased a bit. Can you recommend a platform?
So if any one of you who would like to be in a positive business networking organization, definitely you have to check BNI in your own countries, wherever you are. So you can check in bni.com. You can check out any chapters that it's available for their weekly meetings. So go and check it out. See if that's for you. But never harm to try, which I am very biased on that as well, but I've learned so much about it. So no harm trying. So and be part of our community. Let us welcome you, and let us also embrace you and see if we can really grow together in a good community.
Okay, and I'm going to
Back to
give
you.
a plug for Grace. Okay, for those of you in the BNI world, okay, we always hear, wow, people are launching chapters. So, Grace, how many chapters have you launched in Jakarta?
I've launched 3 chapters last year. Today we have a total of 180 business owners in Indonesia.
Okay, fantastic, isn't it? Woo-hoo.
Thank
Big
you.
round of applause to Grace. Okay, right. So, thank you for listening. Whether you're listening to us live or you're listening to this recording, I really want to give you a gift. Okay, so I've written a book called 10 Proven Strategies to Work Less and More. This book is actually available on Amazon. You can go to Amazon and you can look for this book and you can buy it. Okay, but the alternative to buying this book at Amazon is go to this link here. Okay, so I've got a version of this book that I'm able to give to you free. So thank you so much for joining us this evening. Take a picture of this link, go to this link, and get your free ebook on how to work less and more. Why? Because I want you to be able to enjoy your life, to live your life passionately, to have more time with your loved ones, and then come and join me and join Grace, and together, we want to make the world a better place. Whatever you believe in, wherever the cause is, um, come and join in. And the world is changing, and there's so many things we can do together. And one of the things that I am doing, okay, and Grace may not know about it, is I'm trying to eradicate unemployment worldwide. Woo.
Wow.
Wow. Okay. So together with some friends, and most of them are from the BNI world, we started a project called Matching for You. Okay, which is actually bringing 3 groups of people. Okay, we're talking about people who are the colleges, universities. They are the one that churn out the graduates. The second group
Mm,
of people are basically the graduates themselves, people looking for jobs. Okay, and the third one is actually the employers. It could be the HR companies or big companies looking for employees. And using technology or AI, we are combining all three. So imagine, if you come from a developing country and you find it hard to get job, but guess what? There are countries out there, developing countries, like even in Australia, they are having challenges trying to get employment.
mm.
All you need is somebody to be able to bring all these 3 communities together worldwide, and suddenly the challenges of unemployment will be easier. I wouldn't say totally solved, but be easier solved. Okay, so there are a lot of things out there that we can collaborate together, we can work together and make the world a better place. So this is YP Lai, your work less and more expert, signing off. And just before I go, I'm going to just share with you a quick video, and then I'm going to say bye bye. So Grace, let's say bye bye to them.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.